Okay, so I was having a call with Miriam, I think 2 weeks ago, and she told me about the NDB community and how it got formed and about the festival. And I was really, curious to find out more, to get to know the community as well. So somehow we came to the idea that it would be really cool and for everyone to have this session around the NDB values. And basically, sometimes like the values in the community are things that we cannot always touch, but they're there with us and they can be a part of what we do whenever we're not just when we're part of the community, but also when we're outside the community. So we're gonna have an activity today that is gonna be played on a platform, and through this activity, you'll get to interact a bit with the values, but also to get to know each other more from maybe a different perspective and to share a bit of personal stories. And of course, everything comes with uh, everything is, people like are free to share as much or as little as they want. We don't want to force anyone. Um, and we're gonna be using Chamber, which is a platform that me and Gabi developed at Playlearn. Just let's see a bit, the rules for the activity. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so Chamber will be played using your mobile phone. And if you don't have a mobile phone next to you, then it's okay to use it on desktop, but we recommend to use it on your mobile phone because this way we can talk and see each other. And the first thing to know about Chamber is that basically you're going to be split into group breakout rooms of, I think, Gabi, 4 to 5 people. I think we're going to have 2 or 3 breakout rooms. And inside these breakout rooms, there are basically 2 roles. One is the speaker, and the other people are listeners. And the speaker basically will have a challenge or a question to solve. In this case, it's more of an open-ended question. They will see basically a timer which will be set in to 2.5 minutes, in which they can talk freely about whatever it is that they want to answer, however they want to answer the question. And this is basically like in the upper part, you will see the value, one of the 3 NDB values. And then the question is basically where you see this text box. You won't be having this green part today, at least. Um, so whenever the speaker finishes answer, whenever they finish their answer, either they can press end speaking, or if the timer runs out, automatically the screen will pass and everyone will basically, from the listeners, will get a chance to leave a comment or say something that they resonated with from the speaker. So they will not be awarding coins though, because it's not this is won't be a competition. This is more to find out different perspectives and get to know each other more. um this is later. So this is basically how, and after everyone got to be the got to be the speaker, then basically you will see this screen, and the first person that entered the room. Um, so the first person that entered the room, they will have a joystick here, and that means that they have the option, one, to start the game, and two, after everyone was the speaker, they will have the button to start a new round. We're gonna be playing 2 rounds in total. So hopefully, I think we can manage until the hour that we have set for this activity. If you have any questions up to now.
How do we connect to this chamber?
Yeah, so basically this is the QR code that, yeah, feel free to scan. If not, just go to chamber.games, chamber written without the E.
On any browser of your choice.
Yeah. And you should see a green button that says start a game. Just press the button, enter your name. We are not saving any type of data apart from this recording, I mean. We won't save names and questions. Yeah, and yeah, the room code you will see when you're split into breakout rooms. The name of the breakout room also has the code, so it should be a 6-digit code. Gabi,
Yes.
did you manage to create the room?
Yeah, we're gonna have 2 rooms, and I'm gonna open them as soon as everyone's on the website.
So let's see. Questions, technical difficulties. Everyone is in?
No, not yet.
We're waiting for the room code.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
room code. How you don't have my email address, so why should I get something? How can
Sorry?
So
I have to?
How do I get the room code?
the
So
room code, you're gonna find it once you join the breakout room. Your breakout room is named with the room code. For now, we just want to make sure that everyone is on the website and ready to go. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, Nadia, you were saying something about the email. We don't require your email to send the code. It's gonna be written in the breakout room.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, I think more people joined, so I'm gonna have to recreate the rooms. Just give me 1 sec.
Sure. I think we can make 3 rooms from.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay.
So for those of you who joined maybe a bit later, did you get to go on the site or by the QR code or the link?
The site.
Anyone?
I went by the site, so I'm waiting for the room code.
Okay.
Perfect. I'm just gonna leave here the site in the chat just to have it.
All right. So I'm ready to open the rooms now. Once you join your breakout room, you're going to see that the breakout room is named with the room code. You just enter that underneath your name and you're ready to go. We're also going to join you guys to make sure everyone is all right. So now I'm going to open them. Enjoy.
Oh. VUFQ7. VUFQ7.
Anna, you're still here? No. Okay.
Avem 5, 4, 4 oameni. Hai să... ia vezi, tu poți să te duci?
Wait, let's go to English. Wait just a second. Let me see if I can go. Okay, I can go to the first one, the one with VUF.
Okay. Okay.
And you take the one with 664, and once I'm done, I go to the third one. Yeah.
Okay.
I was too late into this, and I don't make it work right now. So I leave this session for now. I was too late into it, but thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Likewise, Thomas.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Thank you.
How was it?
We were just discussing at the end of it and doing a bit of reflection. I think that, I mean, for me personally, I would have loved to go a little bit more in depth into one of the values and, you know, talk about respect, for example, and have like multiple questions that each of us respond to in terms of respect so that we can zoom in on one of the values. I felt that hopping from one value to another meant that it wasn't, the flow of the conversation was a little bit unnatural. And then I'm not sure if this was something that we struggled with, but we weren't, none of us was able to see each other's feedback, and maybe that contributed. We gave feedback, but then it would disappear when we went to the next page. So I don't know if that's something that is a glitch.
So you basically, but you saw the feedback, like it appeared at the end of the round? No,
No.
not at all.
It did, for me, it did appear as a box, and then I wrote things on it, but then we never got to see the feedback that each of us gave.
And did you also see like there was a timer there that was running?
Actually, the timer was for me way too fast. I cannot
Way too
type
fast.
so fast, so I couldn't finish one sentence.
Yeah, time was also too short for feedback, so you couldn't even write a sentence, and so probably you had to hit a button. So we never finished that, and because of that, the speaker didn't see a feedback.
Sure. Did you get to, I mean, in the room, like discuss, all right, so you didn't get to read your feedbacks, but can you, I don't know, share with each other some thoughts you had, or make up for the fact that you didn't get to read it? I mean, now, so you're not left with, you know, that feeling of it being unfinished.
I didn't have that feeling, so because the values reappeared in a kind of way, so we could continue a little bit or dwell deeper on one value, for instance. So we did that, I think. So I don't have the feeling that it's so much feedback left unsaid, but definitely it would have been different if we had really time to talk and give maybe feedback talking, not a written way. So I think talking would have been better.
Yeah, and just to also add another thought that came to mind, I think it could be interesting to think about follow-up questions, like instead of, sometimes it's feedback, but as we talk about these values and how they differ from one person to another, sometimes it could be interesting to rephrase that from like, or like leave two options, one for feedback and one for like any follow-up questions that we might have. Because, for example, if, you know, Anya's presenting her perspective on respect, and that for me triggers some curiosity in me, and that is where the conversation can go. I'd be like, that's interesting, like, why do you view respect in that way? Because for me, respect from my perspective isn't, and in that sense we can really be exchanging, and like, again, that in-depth analysis of like an unlearning possibly, or learning new things about what these values could mean. So I think just the structure of like each one of us addressing a specific value and then not following up on that questions, or not having that conversation loop could be something that could be valuable to include.
Okay. Noted. Thank you, Rana.
Is there a certain philosophy behind structuring the conversation this way?
if the question is if there's a certain philosophy, right? Or so basically the idea behind it is that everyone gets equal space of time to contribute, so that someone who maybe talks more doesn't occupy all the space, for instance. And so we wanted to have inclusion in that part. And
welcome back.
Yeah, welcome.
We were just debriefing the experience and sharing some thoughts.
Also regarding the feedback and the time that was too short. So, and yeah, basically with the written feedback, it's like that because the idea is to have, you know, sort of a
welcome
flow
back.
Going. Welcome, everyone. And if it's a conversation afterwards, it needs to have a structure so that you can have it clearly set in time. So that's a thing that we did with by having the written feedback in it.
So we were joined by more people. In the meantime, Alex was answering a question that Miriam asked him, in case it sounded out of context for you who just joined. So how was the experience? What did you discover about the other members of the community, the values? I don't know, any insights or new perspectives that you want to share with us?
I can start maybe. We were just busy with technology and we were struggling with technology. We admit it, especially me. I was really struggling. And we already shared with Alex that the time was short for feedback. So that was a little bit of a disappointment that we actually in the end didn't even get the feedback. So, but that's nicely now with Alex to update the time span. I personally found it a bit funny to listen to 4 monologues, and I'm wondering, for me it was not balanced. It's not only a time issue. There's a monologue, a speech. What is nice, by the way, is going up to the last second of the time given, I think, because more ideas coming out. But then this feedback of thank you was nice. Nah, a quality feedback that was that would be important, because feedback is important, but just a thank you, that's not enough. Yeah, from my side. But thanks, great to
thank you.
Try. And I'm still here. Huh? I almost left.
Let's say that also in our group. Oh, sorry. I saw Rana, you were raising your hand. Go
for it. I talked a lot before.
No, I was just saying that I share Nadia's opinion, meaning that it's nice for especially the talk, the person giving the talk and talking, you know, to have to give the room and the time to talk. For the feedback, probably I would have loved more kind of structured feedback, as Nadia was suggesting, or even a group discussion, because in the end, each of us has something to add or to say, oh, yes, this is also my experience, or yes, I think so, but also, and this kind of thing. So probably I would have had this kind of interaction after the initial sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gratia.
But very nice, very nice.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on to what Gracia was saying, I think, and I touched on this a little bit after we returned from the breakout rooms, I think I'm curious to know, like, what are we meant to give feedback on? So is it a process of sharing? So are we giving feedback on the quality of the story or that person's perception of that value? Or is it giving feedback on, you know, from a public speaking perspective? So I think in terms of like a learning application, I would love to have that objective be clear, that, you know, at the end, we're meant to each give each other feedback on this specific aspect, because if it's to start a conversation, then again, like, as I was saying, things like follow-up questions or, you know, all different sorts of cues could be valuable in having that conversation. I think feedback, it would need more time, and then also like the context of what we're giving feedback on would be really helpful.
Actually, a great point, Rana. So just that was on my side at the beginning. Like how we normally do it is that the facilitator that uses the platform, depending on the context that they use it, they frame at the beginning, okay, exactly like you said, where are you giving feedback or what aspects are you looking? Now, when I was basically saying the rules, I was just mentioning, okay, you can say something that you maybe resonate with. I mean, it wasn't necessarily to give feedback per se or constructive feedback, or it was more of a lighter session from this point of view. The idea behind it was that, okay, we get to listen to each other, speak, to see what their perspectives are on values, but it's not necessarily like, okay, you speak, the others give you feedback, the other one speaks, everyone jumps with feedback. So it was more of a lighter session, and I'm sorry it's on my side that I didn't get to maybe present it as such, but definitely a good point. Thank you.
All right. Any other thoughts?
May I add that
yes.
it was very interesting to discuss about these values, to hear the each other thoughts about these values. And I think more than feedback, the objective was to connect to each other and to discuss about. So what I missed is some discussion, some space, 1 minute, 2 minutes discussion, when after one person gives her thoughts, just to put, as Rana said, questions of clarification, or yes, it is also my experience, or some other things. So to really discuss, it was a small group and we could really discuss with each other on the respective viewpoint about the value. So that I miss this personal exchange of ideas after each monologue. Also, the timing was pretty difficult to fulfill 2 minutes, 50 seconds, but we tried to do it. Somehow we around 1 minute we finished, and then we said, okay, we have more, so let's try more ideas. But it was a generous time somehow. But it's a very nice application. You have to explain us how to use it.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much, Anna.
Very nice, lovely. By the way, I was doing in a workshop a discussion about values, so not later than last Friday, so it was quite handy.
Any other final thoughts?
I would have a question, or I thought, I was wondering if you have explored an asynchronous way for this to happen. Like, I could also imagine that it works, for example, with the small voice recording that is then sent to the roomies, who can't then, because that would allow a different way of giving feedback, because I can listen it and then give more extensive feedback, for example. So that could be another way that because in our group, Nadia asked, like, when would you use it? And I was like, I don't know, because for me, I would find it more useful in an asynchronous way than in when we are actually in the room together.
Well, actually, when I do my customer experience workshops, or in general, we tend a lot to talk about values, to connect the brand promises to customer promises and the values that the brand, and this is a very useful live discussion, because everybody learns what every other people in the room and the team thinks about the value, how the value is embedded in daily life, a story that for you is a representation of that value. So I'm not sure. I see a lot of fun also in using it in a live session, not just asynchronous, because it's the value of the exchange. Yeah,
I agree with you that it's a good conversation to have in live, but the structure of the program that it gave us did not really spark a conversation, at least in our group. We were very stuck on us giving the monologue speech and then sending feedback, and then the next one giving a monologue. So if I would use it in a live environment, I would need to embed it in a larger process. where I think the conversation cannot just be held by the program in itself.
Yeah, it could be a kind of, could be first part, someone talk and the other listens. Then you can have kind of group conversation of sort.
Yeah, like an icebreaker or something.
3, 4 minutes for a group conversation of sort, and then some time of conclusion. So you start diverging with the person, continuous divergence with a group discussion, converge on something which could be a conclusion or a feedback or your personal thought on the topic, whatever it is. Could be just adding a step in the process, probably to build on Anushka feedback.
Thank you so much for all this input. I mean, it's very valuable, and yeah, we really appreciate it. It's a long process. Like this is basically our first activity that we did. We had in mind at the beginning, it was the decision to do synchronous or asynchronous, and we chose synchronous because we wanted to like create an activity with people there. But definitely, Anushka, yeah, it can bring somehow value as well, especially if we did it asynchronous. Like, but yeah, the road ahead, I guess it's quite long still. So yeah, but we'll definitely keep it in mind.
Okay, so cool.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So thank you
much.
everyone for joining today. We hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, hope to see you again in other learning environments.
Thanks for sharing.
It was nice.
Have
See
a
you soon.
Thanks
Thank you so
a lot.
much for
Great evening.
sharing.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye
Bye-bye.
Ahead. Bye.
Thank you.